Right. So, Paul, you're an NLP master practitioner, and you've helped a lot of people. You've helped me. Just to explain for people who are watching this who don't really understand what NLP is, just tell me a bit more about it and what it can do for people.
Okay, so there's a good story that kind of illustrates it, and it was from the co-creator Richard Bandler. I actually spent a weekend with him, and if you're in the UK, you might have heard of a guy called Paul McKenna. So I spent a
Mm.
fantastic weekend with them, and Richard Bandler told the origins of it, not the oranges of it, the oranges, the origins of it. So he's a very clever guy. You know, he has to be classed as a genius, and he was off to do computer science and computer programming, and there was a flood or a fire or something, and basically they couldn't do the course. And he ended up staying with a psychologist. So while he was waiting for the computer lab to be rebuilt, he was reading all these psychology books, which is what got him interested in the brain and how we do things and why we do things and why some people do things very well and some people get phobias and don't do things very well. So he's reading all these books, and he said to the psychologist one day, he said, "These books are amazing. This is fascinating." And he said something like, "Well, I'm glad you find, my field of, uh, my industry, as fascinating and stuff as I do." And then he said to him, I asked him something that I thought seemed obvious. "All of the books you've got tell me about how people do things wrong, how they develop a phobia, why they get depressed, why they get anxious, why they don't do things they know they should do, but they just don't do them. Where are the books that tell me how people that have done these things and got over phobias and stuff? Where are the books that teach me that?" And the guy goes, "What do you mean?" There aren't any. So this is back in kind of the early 70s. So Richard Bandler kind of got interested in, well, if that doesn't exist, it kind of interested him, and he went off and researched it. And so him being a computer programmer, he kind of likened, well, if the brain's like a computer, how does it work? And he went off and he modeled very successful people. He modeled a hypnotist, he modeled a therapist, and he modeled them to see how they did things. So he got to the point where he could do what they did, even though he didn't have years of training like they had. And that's how it started. It's often called the science of success, but he hates it being called a science. It's not a science, it's a model, right? So just like if you want to go from where you live down to where I live, you'd look at a map. That's a model of the UK, right? That's a model. And it works very well to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Same with NLP. It's a model that works. The name came up when he got stopped by a police officer for speeding or something, right? And he said, "So why are you in such a hurry?" "Well, I'm off to a conference." "What's it about?" And he looked at the books he had on his seat. Neuro, something to do with the brain from his psychology thing. Linguistic, it was co-developed by a guy called John Grinder, who's a linguist, right? Neuro, linguistic, and then he's a computer programmer. Programming, that's where the name came from in a split second. But it's a very good name. Neuro, the brain. Linguistic, I prefer communication rather than language, because if I go, I'm communicating, even though I'm not using any language. So neuro, linguistic, and then programming. We can literally, as you know from our sessions,
Yeah.
don't want to do one thing, we can reprogram your brain to do it a different way or a better way for you. Not there isn't no good or bad. It's what works for you or doesn't. So that's kind of what it is. It's been around since the early 70s. Some people do NLP stuff, but they don't call it NLP, because there was a period where everybody was jumping on it because it was so good. And Richard Bandler kind of started suing some people because he spent all this time developing it. And one of the most famous people that still use NLP to this day is Tony Robbins.
Right. Yeah.
But what can it do? Phobias. I've helped people get over phobias, change habits. If you heard, it takes 28 days to form a new habit.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
the latest I read on that in one of my NLP magazines, apparently that is now gone up to something like 40 days or something. I can't remember the exact number. But
Mm.
because we get so many distractions now with social media and things, apparently that number's risen. But there's an exercise in NLP called New Behavior Generator, can make you install new habits a lot faster than having to wait the 40 days. It helps with communication, because you understand how people process language and stuff inside their brain, so you can adapt what you do to get your message over in a way that will resonate more with your target audience.
Sure.
It's very good at dealing with behaviors that you don't want, installing ones that you do. Does that answer your question?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. It's so I find the thing is so fascinating.
yeah, and it's broad.
And I think what a lot of people find fascinating about NLP, or more or less in some cases they need to be convinced that it works, is because we've been told that process takes a long time,
Yes.
and we've been told that even though you go through a process, you may not even quite get there. So you might revert back to your old habits and your old traits. So what makes NLP different? And
What makes NLP difference is the
yeah,
speed.
yeah.
If you go to see a psychotherapist, sorry, I always get that wrong, but that's how they spell it. Would you go and see somebody that called themselves psychotherapist?
I have in the past, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, well, look, I have nothing, I'm not against them at all. And in fact, if someone's got a serious condition, I'll refer people or whatever. But
Yeah.
the thing is, what a lot of therapy involves is, you have to deal with it. You have to
Explain
talk
that.
about it a lot,
Mm.
right? And we'll go through it and we'll ask, why do you think this happened and why do you think that happened? And NLP is it. Part of the reason, I guess, why it's not as mainstream as I think it should be is there's an element of attitude about it, right? Um, if I didn't like that picture on my wall and I hated it, and I was sat here now, John, going, "Oh, that picture winds me up," what would you tell me to do?
Take it down.
Oh no,
So
well, see, a therapist will say, let's talk about it for 6 months, a year.
yeah.
So all the
Yeah.
time we're talking about it, we're focused on the thing we don't want. And in actual fact, if you think about just about anything that's wrong in your life, you either want to change how you think about it or how you feel about it. And
Mm.
that is where NLP gets incredibly fast change. Like phobia, dealt with in about 15 to 30 minutes. Like somebody, a wheelchair user, paralyzed from the chest down, had pain for years, right? And there's a certain process we can do to help with pain. And he's out of pain in like less than 5 minutes. He was in tears. It was like unbelievable, right? Now, I'm not a medical practitioner, right? If you know the cause of the pain and what's happening with it, and it's all good, and you've been checked out medically, it's a great thing to do. I wouldn't like to get rid of anybody's pain if they were having a heart attack or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we don't want to. NLP can't really do any harm. That's the good thing, right?
Mm.
It's not like you hear stories like people being hypnotized. I never hypnotize anybody. Don't need to do what I do with NLP.
Mm.
But to sum up what you say, like what we were talking about, if I didn't like the picture, I'd change it, and it's how we think and how we feel. The best story I always use is you fall in a river and you're drowning because you can't swim, and two people walk by. One's like a counselor, a therapist. Oh, you're falling in. That's terrible. Yes, and I'm drowning. Well, that must be awful for you. It is. So, when did you first feel you were going to start to fall into the river then? Well, the NLP practitioner goes, give me your hand. Let's get you out. Stop you
Yeah.
drowning. We can worry about the rest later if you want to worry about it.
Mm.
If you really want to discuss why you think you were falling in or at what point you felt like you were falling in, great. But surely the main thing you want now is just to get out the river and stop drowning. Let me
Yeah.
think. Yeah, you're right. And that's the typical sort of NLP approach.
Yeah. This NLP, I mean, obviously, you've got so many people right now who are trying to start online businesses. They're trying to start do online trading. Trying to start new things is always a challenge, and it always brings up old habits and old hang-ups that we've got. Tell me about how you get people from where they are to where they want to be.
Okay. So again, that's quite a broad question because everybody's
Yeah.
kind of different, but I can talk in general terms.
Mm.
So you think about where we are now, the age we live in. ChatGPT, write me 10 blog posts. Okay. Write me a sales page for this business. Okay. Bang. Tell me how I can promote my business. Okay. Bang. Done. Right. Oh, I need to take this video and create some shorts. There's a piece of software out there. You can literally just put a YouTube link in and it will create the shorts for you and it will make them. Right. Now you go back. I mean, me and John have both been online a while, haven't we? Go back 5 years.
Yeah.
Could you imagine somebody from our time now going back 5 years?
They love it.
Yeah. So, oh, you're trying to create a web page and you need copy, you need follow-up emails. ChatGPT does it all for you. So John, I'll ask you, why isn't everybody successful?
I think the one of the main reasons is because people doubt what they can do, and based on their old habits and beliefs and values,
Yeah,
they think, well, I can't possibly earn more than this amount, or
yeah.
I can't possibly do this because in the past this happened, so therefore I'm not
Limiting
going to do.
beliefs.
Yes.
So basically, that's a limiting belief. Now, we have a subconscious part of our brain and we have a conscious part of our brain. I'm sure everybody's aware of that. At best, right? I did read somewhere they reckon 10% conscious, but the general consensus seems to be 5% conscious. So you got 5% of your brain not fighting, right? But trying to control the 95%. Who's going to win in an argument, do you think?
Subconscious,
Where do you
absolutely.
think all your beliefs are? Where do you think your values are? Where do you think your habits are? All of these things are in the subconscious, 95%, 90 at best. And you're trying to go, I'm going to be a millionaire. It's going to be so easy because every day I'm going to get up, I'm going to create 5 videos, I'm going to write an article, I'm going to, and people don't do it. And another example I like to use is SMART goals. I threw out a lot of my self-development books. I love self-development. They are mostly NLP now. I've got about 200 books and they're mostly NLP, right? And I threw out a lot of my self-development ones. A lot of self-development ones talk about SMART goals. So has to be specific. I want to lose a stone in weight, 14 pounds. Specific. Measurable. Yep, I can stand on a scale and I can see if I'm losing weight. Has to be achievable. Yeah, people lose weight all the time. It's achievable. Has to be relevant. It is to me because if I walk out my front door and walk 20 steps down the road, I can see the sea. I want to look good on the beach. So it's relevant to me because I'm a bit flabby at the minute, right? And then it has to be time-based. So, okay, it's not time-based right now. 14 pounds. I've read that about £1 a week is healthy to lose. So I'll do it over 14 weeks then. There you go. So that is a SMART goal as taught. I'm definitely gonna lose that weight, aren't I, John?
Unless until you get hungry and you think, oh, the McDonald's open.
Exactly. And that is why people rethink and grow rich and don't get rich, and why I've read so many books and I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I was struggling and going round and round. So when it comes to NLP, we go beyond that. We have something called the outcome model, and we go, well, if you get it, what are you going to lose? What do you mean? What do you mean? If I was a millionaire, I'd be really happy. Yeah, but what would you lose? Would your kids go to the same school? Would you have the same house with the same neighbours? Would you quit your job with your friends? How would you feel? Do you think, have you watched any TV programs or movies ever, John, where the bad guys are always the rich industrialist or the rich the rich guy?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
The heroes are the poor people trying to get by. Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man, poor old Peter Parker. And then the Green Goblin's the rich industrialist guy, and he's up against the big corporate newspaper guy. And the rich Gilligan's Island, if you're in the US, the rich guy's the jerk. Land of Giants. I used to love that program. The rich guy's the jerk. The only one, the exception is Batman.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Similar to
So
that
so if I've got a conflict of values, if I grew up and didn't have a lot of money, and I couldn't eat out, and it was a treat to have fish and chips or something, a takeaway. When you get older, I read one guy, for example, and he said, if you come to my house and you open my kitchen cupboards, they're full of cereals. I've got every type of breakfast cereal you could ever want. Because when I was growing up, it was cornflakes and the supermarket own brand, and that was it. So I used to go to my friend's house and they'd have like Cocoa Pops and all these different things. And I used to think, wow, now I'm grown up, right? I have what I want. So in his case, he's got a conflict of values if he doesn't eat breakfast cereal.
Yeah.
Where's the values stored? The subconscious or the conscious? Who's going to win? So even though he's done a SMART goal, it doesn't work. And this is where NLP comes in. If you're watching this and you found yourself stuck in a rut, stuck in a cycle, there's reasons I could go into about why you're stuck in a rut, right? Because it's actually a pathway in your brain, literally a rut in your brain. If that's you, it's because you have a conflict of values, you have a limiting belief, or maybe, okay, a lot of people, you don't have business problems. You have personal problems that show up in your business. And often with a client, it will be, oh, I need help in getting into the habit of doing this, or I need help getting over the fear of doing videos or whatever. And we can do all those things. But often with a client, as we have the sessions, or they go through the course or whatever, or they read the book, they often come up with something. Yeah, well, when I was young, this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, or whatever. Doesn't necessarily have to be like serious. You know, I read a case study in one of my I get magazines from the body I'm involved with, and this guy, his business would always get so far, and then he'd lose it all, and he'd start again, and he'd go quickly to sort of a certain level and lose it all again. And it came out when he was chatting with his NLP practitioner that his dad told him, "You don't want to get really successful because those people have heart attacks,"
Crikey.
when he was a kid.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where's that stored?
Yeah.
Subconscious,
Absolutely.
conscious,
Yeah.
right? So every time you start getting like you build a big business, well, those people get heart attack. I don't want a heart attack. Do you want a heart attack? No. Well, we better lose it all.
Yeah.
And we
Right.
did an exercise with you, didn't we? The self-sabotage one with the two hands, and that was profound,
Oh,
wasn't it?
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is as well, I tell my story. I don't go into well, I do go into detail, but I know a lot of people looking at that story going, okay, well, that's great for you, John, but obviously my problems, you don't really understand my problems. My problems are worse. And, you
Yeah.
know, what would you say to people who uh, kind of want the change, but are either worried about changing? What might happen during a session? You know, what do you say to those people?
The Well, one of the things is with NLP, and one of the reasons I absolutely love it. I I'm only worried about how you think. I don't need to know what you are thinking. So I could, somebody could come to me with a problem that they feel a bit uneasy about talking about, right?
Mm.
I don't need to know what it is to deal with it. All I only need to know is, how do you think about it? And people don't usually think about how they think about something in terms of NLP. And we do a lot of making pictures, don't we, John? And you've been
Yeah.
through it. It's silly stuff. It honestly is. I often say to people, it's so silly, but it's so effective. So how do we think about something? If you think about a birthday party you had, I know you most likely see in a picture, and that's how you know you're thinking about your birthday party and not mine, because you can see your friends and your mum and dad maybe, or the presents or the cake or whatever. So most people, they see something, right? And then we can manipulate that image, because that is the programming part. You see, our brains, they take information in: sight, sound, smell, taste, and feeling, as in, well, that feels smooth, or I feel angry, I feel happy, I feel sad. So that works in both ways, called kinesthetic, right? So if we understand that, my favorite trick is always, do not, under any circumstances, think of a blue elephant with wings flying over the Eiffel Tower in France in the moonlight. How big were the wings on your elephant, people? So language doesn't work, right? Our brains process information in sight, sounds, smells, tastes, and feelings. The main one being visual. That's the main one, right? And that's where I spend a lot of time with clients going, okay, make the picture bigger, make it smaller, turn the brightness up, make it black and white. We did that with, well, I won't keep going, but there's so many, the simple stuff we can do. So if you're worried about it and you're worried about making a change, we have a thing in NLP called the outcome model. And that says, the first thing I do with a client is score sheet. Symptoms, causes, outcomes, results, effects. Symptoms, where are you now? What's wrong? Okay. Causes, what do you think's caused it? Outcomes, what would you like the outcome to be at the end of this? What do you want instead? Okay. If you got all your outcomes, what would the results of that be? Okay. No, resources, sorry. What resources have you got to help you get from where you want to be to where you want to be? Right. So symptoms, causes, outcomes, resources, and then effects. If you got it, if you actually got it, what would the effects be? The good, the bad, and the indifferent.
Yeah.
Once you go through the score sheet, you might change what you want, because you might realize. So I'll give you an example. We moved down to Cornwall from Grantham, 300 miles. So what would you lose? Well, my mother-in-law was elderly. Who's going to look after her?
Mm.
So we could move to Cornwall, but then we'd spend all our time worrying about her, and she'd probably need more help as she get older. Well, it's a 7-hour trip up there, every 7 hours back. So do we stay? What else could we do? She came with us.
Right.
Okay, so that's a solution. Somebody else, when I was with Paul McKenna, what do you want? I want a yacht. I want to own I'm gonna get a yacht. You got a yacht? No. You got enough money to get a yacht? No, but I'm going for it, Mr. McKenna. Paul, you watch. I'm building my business. He said, I know a lot of rich people. I know a lot of millionaires. I interviewed them for a book I did. Yeah. They've all got yachts, but none of them own them. What do you mean? They lease them. As soon as you buy it, you lose $500,000 sailing it out the harbour. You know, plus if you want to update, so there's a solution. Could you afford to lease one now? Yes. Go and get your dream. So if you're worried about it, there's probably a different way you can get it. We can look at all the possible scenarios, all the solutions, the good, the bad. But fundamentally, if it's something you don't want to share, I don't even need to know. NLP is so good. I don't even need to know. And all it is about how you think and about how you feel about it. I could go into logical levels and all sorts of things, but that we're all the same, and yet we're all different. We're all the same. We all think about things. You know, so I'm quite auditory, right? We're all predominantly visual generally, but I'm quite auditory as well. Somebody else is all visual. You know, somebody else. I've even had one guy who's like could taste stuff. You know, when people say, I smell a rat. I smell a rat. Really?
Yeah.
So again, if someone's worried, I don't hypnotize people. You're not going to sing like Elvis or cook like a chicken. NLP is not about that. Okay. We just talk and we ask you to make pictures and do silly things.
So for anyone watching this thinking, okay, you've got my attention, what's the next step for those people? What sort of thing could they get from you?
Okay, so should we talk about the Matrix?
Yeah.
So at the time of recording this, right? Let me kind of frame it like this, right? So if I've been online, let's say I met John, I've been online for a long time, and you know, I've got some results. I didn't get serious results until I did the NLP, and this is why I'm passionate about it. So a lot of NLP practitioners, they go and they find their niche, right? If you're online, if you're in the online world, you understand niche. So some people, they just focus on helping people stop smoking. Some just deal with phobias and traumas. Some, you know, might deal with motivation and going into corporations and helping them deal with change, you know, if the company's changing or whatever, which is fast these days. But I've come up through the ranks of online marketing, affiliate marketing, network marketing. So a lot of people know me for that. And that I got my success in those fields with NLP. So I'm quite passionate about marrying the two. And as far as I know, I'm fairly unique in the fact that I actually teach the mindset. Now, if you've been online, the chances are you've been in more than one company, and you go to the back office, you look at the training. Where's the mindset section, John? Where's the this is how to program your mind for success? Where is it?
Well, there is it. Or it is there sometimes. And you know, one of the biggest frustrations I used to get with online business owners or with general programs, they go, well, if you just get rid of what's holding you back, you'll be able to move forward in your business.
Yeah.
Okay, where's the magic one then?
Yeah, exactly. It's easy to say, you know, if you're a bit down, people very well meaning will say to you, put it behind you, get over it. Doesn't matter. Plenty more fish in the sea if you've had a breakup. You know, they're so easy to say. You know, I got mentored by a guy and he says, Paul, you'll be a leader when you decide to be a leader. Well, I've decided to be a leader. Nothing changed because I wasn't taking the actions of a believer because I didn't really believe of a leader because I didn't really believe it, and I didn't have the confidence at the time to be making loads of videos all the time, and I worried about what people thought and stuff. Leaders don't. You know, there's Dan Kennedy saying if you haven't, you know, pissed somebody off by lunchtime, you're not doing it right because you've got to get your message out there, right? And not everyone's going to like you, so you just got to get out there, right? So, okay, so I'm quite, you know, unique as far as I know in that most companies don't have a mindset section. If they do, it kind of says things like John just said there, you know, just do it, you know, and just be confident and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they try, but they don't tell you how. And NLP tells you how. That's why I love it. So what I find is a lot of leaders will talk about mindset being a key to their success, but they don't provide it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to be the mindset training for you in whatever business you're in, non-competing. So at the minute, as of today of recording this, John will put a link around. you can buy my book. It's only $7. I got a great comment the other day. Are you really telling me you expect people to be transformed with a $7 book? I've read books that have changed my life. So it could happen. Would I guarantee it? Well, I'd be a fool, wouldn't I, if I guaranteed it? Because we're all different, right? But in theory, it could. But why is it priced at $7? Because a lot of people say this. Yeah, the mindset stuff sounds great. And when I'm successful, I'll definitely check that out. But for now, just tell me how you built your email list.
Yeah.
Just tell me how you wrote that sales page. Just tell me how you've got the confidence to go and do your videos all the time. Just tell me how you know what to say. It's all right for you. You just know what to say. Watch my first videos. My name's what's my name? Oh shit.
Mine.
Yeah, Paul. That's it. That's my name. And I've got this great opportunity. So you got it wrong, guys. If you're thinking that you need the mindset first, but what I want to do is to share with you some of it. It's only $7. It pays for my hosting. It pays for little bits and bobs, right? So I'm not asking a lot of money. So if you get a transformation, and you could do, I'm pleased for you. If you don't, and you think it's a load of rubbish, you've only spent $7, which, let's be honest, isn't really life-changing for most people, right? It's not like you're going to worry if you lose it. There are some sheets you can buy for 27, and then I've got a 5-day transformation course. So for a lot of people, once they've had an experience of NLP, it's like, yes, Simon, I want more. I want more. Where do I get more? Right. So it's kind of the next step at the minute is a 5-day transformation, and everybody's busy. So what I thought long and hard, and I went through about 3 different versions of this before I got this one. And it's so if I was to sit with you for 5 days, what would I want to teach you in what order to get you on path to hitting your goals? Okay. So that's all available now. The book, the 5-day course. The top end, I always explain it like this. I brought Tony Robbins' book, Unlimited Power. That's my first introduction to NLP years ago. I think I paid £10 for it. I haven't got a phone. Oh, I've got a phone here. Hey, Mr. Robbins, I've read your book and on page 76, I've just got a question. Well, you can't do it, can you? A book is great, but it's all one way. No demonstrations or anything like that. A course is better because you can see things being demonstrated and you get a feel for whoever's presenting, their tone, and they can talk more effectively, or they can say, right, just focus, and they can, so that's better. But obviously it's still one way. The best way is to get one-on-one, and that's available as well. If you want to be a one-on-one client, John, would you recommend it?
Well, I'll just say this, and I don't know if anyone's seen my story, but I mean, I've been online for, I don't know how many years now, about 16 years. So I know I'm not short of things to say. I'm not short of knowledge to impart. And yet my self-destructive mechanism was stopping me from going where I wanted to go. And one classic example was I did this affiliate marketing course and a system that I wanted to put together, which was going to benefit me and benefit other people. And I started talking to you. I think, what was it, beginning of January?
Yeah,
beginning of January. And quite literally 8 weeks later, the course was finished, the book was done, the videos are going out, and I'm looking back going,
yeah,
this stuff really works.
I like what you say. How long had it been on your hard drive before? Bits of it.
About 15 months in pieces, in me doing a video and going, oh, I can't bother to do it today, I'll do it tomorrow, because tomorrow better, because the sun will be shining tomorrow, it'll be okay, and it went on and on and on. I thought, this is never going to get finished.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's the fact that when I go on that hard drive, there are lots of projects like that are just starting now to see the light of day. So it's exciting,
So you're
and I know
stuck in that cycle of not getting it done.
absolutely. I know sometimes it can seem like, or it can sound like a cliche. I can't believe how far I've come since all that sort of thing. But if anyone knows me, then I'm very down to earth, very to the point. And if I can smell a rat, as you said, I'll tell people where it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's.
And
I
it's
will
not just in your business, is it? I mean, we don't need to talk about that, but the effects spread out, don't they, into your life?
Everything in my life was being affected by my self-destructive mechanism. Everything. So if you think what the things that are important in life, obviously we'll start with relationships, then you've got businesses, then you've got finances, and the whole sort of quality of life was being affected. And that has now turned around and has changed massively. and the knock-on effect with that is going to be a 360 turn, so yeah.
So so at the minute, I have a book. It's only $7. It's a great intro. Okay. And yes, it can definitely change your thinking. There's a small upsell if you want to get the sheets so you learn more about yourself. You don't have to. Then there's a 5-day transformation course. And then there's obviously working with me one-on-one, right? Which is a bigger investment, of course. But John's already got his course out. It's already helping him promote his business. He'll get that back. My NLP tutor told me, yeah, it was really funny because we're going around the room. I was the only guy. Why do you want to do NLP? Well, I want to help all my clients because I work with. Okay, yeah, great. I'm a doctor and I want to. Oh, fantastic. And I just want to feel better about myself and I want to help my friends. And oh, that's lovely. Paul, what about you? I want to get better in business. Oh yeah, I'm the only one there for like selfish reasons.
Yeah.
And Philip, his name was, he goes, oh, you'll double your income, no problem. Don't worry about it. You'll double your income. What about you? And we went in the room. Anyway, he lied, he's a complete liar, because I actually tripled my income well, not even within about 2 months of finishing the course, but I can attribute it to one weekend in particular, because I learned over a year. We did weekends, right, over a year. And yeah, and I tripled my income. It was amazing. It was amazing. And he came down to Cornwall. I took him and his wife out for a meal, and it was all fantastic and great. And as to be able to do that, and never would have been able to afford it before. Went to a really nice place, order what you like, no problem. You had the cheese board, which I thought was a bit cheeky, but So there's a missing part though, because I'm on a mission to get this information out there. And like I say, a lot of leaders talk about it. A lot of affiliate marketers, network marketers are starting to realize. I think the tide is turning because all the excuses are gone. In my group the other day, we made a video live on a service called InVideo. We found a keyword, we did a bit of research, we used ChatGPT, we made it. All the excuses are gone, guys, for you not putting out content. Sorry, I don't care how busy you are, right? All the excuses are gone thanks to AI, and yet people still aren't where they want to be. So a friend of mine, Eric Green, worked with on a few projects. He said, you know what about if we did a force matrix, a bit like Live Good, right? And thank you, John. I'm just getting my spillover now and Live Good. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
It's working. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? I don't expect it, which is a limiting belief. And it took about a year, but now I'm actually making money for no effort, and it's growing. So anyway, as Eric, business partner, said, what about if we did a matrix, force matrix? So here's the plan. Exclusive, right? Pretty exclusive. I've just done one other video actually with Eric about this, right? But in the general outer population. So it's going to be $47 for the first month, right? That will include the foundation, the book that I wrote, the worksheets that I spoke about, and business in a box kind of idea. Here's all your promotional material. Here's how you can go and promote this. Do you have to promote it? No. All right. 47 the first month. So you've got the foundation NLP side and you've got the business side should you want to promote. After that, $20 a month, less than $5 a week. Okay. What do you get for that? Every month, I'm going to create a new product. It will probably be an ebook, might be a webinar, a training or something, but there'll be a new product depending on the feedback from the group and the current climate out there and stuff. But there'll be a new product, every single month. More importantly, though, every Tuesday, I'm going live. 30 minutes to an hour. I'll answer questions. I'm say I'll go over a lot. Okay. But the current climate the current sort of what's hot at the minute is, you could be a coach and you should charge at least $1,000, but you should up your prices and you charge $5,000. And you can't coach one-on-one because it takes too much time. So what you do is you charge 5K and you do one live training a month and teach everybody what they need to do in a foundational course, right? So you have training and then you do one live a month. Okay. And I'm right on to John. That's pretty typical these days.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah. And more so in the past as well. Yeah.
So $20 a month. I'll be live 30 minutes to an hour, which I think the value is good. So if you never promoted it, if you never made a penny off the matrix, it's only $20 a month, right? Now, it's not like a one-on-one. That's still up there. It's not a 5-day transformation, right? That's still there, that course. If you want to go and say, do you know what? I need to make change, I need to make it fast. But you don't go to the gym once, lift a few weights, and then you build muscle. And if you don't wash regularly, you stink. So it's aimed to be that kind of every week, here's something that can keep you motivated, keep you on track, you learn something new. You know, some of it will be like amazing. You know, hopefully some of it will be maybe be a reminder as we get a bit further down. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing it. Because even I sometimes like, oh, I've got a headache. And my wife will go, did you spin? I go, no. And there's an exercise you can do in NLP to get rid of headaches and things, right? So that's what it'll be, a product, an ebook or something. Okay. But most importantly, really, me live answering questions and giving you something every week to keep you topped up and keep you going to where you want to be. The beauty of that is that every week we can take that training and we can create shorts out of it, which becomes fresh marketing every single week for anybody that does want to promote. If you want to promote, it's a 2x8 force matrix. So that means you could join for $20, never promote, but potentially the matrix under you, like I'm getting spill over now, thanks to John, you know, the matrix under you is filling up. It's only $1 per customer. But this isn't meant to be like your full-time gig. This is the add-on to if you're in Live Good, this is the mindset training that Live Good should give. If you're in McLauchlan, that's still going, it's the mindset training they should give you in that. If you're in the stem cell business, it's the mindset training that they should give you with that, right? Non-competing, right? I'm not promoting any other thing, anything else inside this, right? So you can be safe. If you've got a big downline and you want them all to succeed, you do that. The first month, right, is $47. So it's the 20 plus 27 is how it works. The 27 is the foundational stuff, and then the $20 a month. So it all comes in, you know, the first month's 47, then it's only 20. If I refer John, I'd make $25 for referring John as a fast start bonus. So if I want to kind of cover my first month cost, I'll just need 2 referrals. And then I'm into the matrix, and it's the force matrix. Beyond that, if you did want to make it more of a full-time gig, we're doing a 25% check match on people you personally enroll. Okay. You need to get 4 people to qualify at the minute. We might change it, but at the minute, 4. If you really want to be a full-time gig, you're going to promote more than that. So what we're saying, if you go 10 people, 10 personals, you get a 25% check match on your personals and their sales as well. So that's where it adds up and can turn into like nice money. The 5-day transformation course pays $100 commissions down unlimited levels. I will be mentioning that on every call. So I will do the selling, promoting. It's not selling. I will make people awareness, the awareness. I will make people aware of that, okay, on every single call. You do need the product, like most things, I'm afraid, to benefit from it, from the commissions. But that's how we take it from a 2x8 force matrix, when you make $1 per person, to where you could make $100 commissions down unlimited levels if you own that product as well. And again, I like win-win-win scenarios. It's okay, the course is helping John get his affiliate marketing stuff out there. Another guy that I helped, you know, couldn't make videos. It took him 6 hours to make one video. Now he did 2 the other day, just like, you know, off the cuff. What I do know is if he doesn't make any videos and doesn't put anything out, he will definitely make 0 sales. But what I do know is if you get a course out there and you make videos or whatever, you stand a chance of making sales. And if you do it consistently, eventually, by law of averages, even if you're terrible, you have to get something. So that's how I like it to work. The force matrix aspect means you could join. It's only $20 a month anyway. You shouldn't feel bad if you don't promote and you don't want to promote. That's fine. And it's not a lot of money. The value is there, I believe, don't you, John? Live stuff every week.
With so much value. I mean,
so you know, so even if you didn't make a penny, I'm hoping you'd still be very happy with your purchase. But this force matrix gives everybody a chance to get their money back. And that's the kind of deals I like. I like it where, okay, yeah, there is an investment, but you can get it back. So there you go. Exciting times. A lot of interest in it. We've got quite a few sort of big names looking at it as well. So we expect it to fly. We expect this to go really well.
I mean, I know from being in this industry for a long time is that this is something that's been needed for so long. You know, not just another personal development video or, you know, something to watch, but something that is based in, I'll say science, but you don't say science, do you? You say
model, yeah, proven
model.
So, some of it is a bit
yeah. But there's so many people who've succeeded because of NLP. You and you as well, you know, including myself.
No, I'm the case study. I'm the living case study.
Yeah.
But I tell you what happened to me. I was getting increasingly not living my values. I love to teach, right? I've been in corporate jobs before, and I always kind of end up doing some training and stuff. And so I've been teaching like in Forex and network marketing. And what I've been doing is I've fallen into the trap of teaching method all the time. And I burn myself out trying to help people. And the reason why there isn't more NLP out there is because to actually spend the time isn't worth it on most deals. I mean, I got to 10K a month in a network marketing business, and people think that's great. And the money every month to be part of that wasn't insignificant. It was $175 a month. So people think that you owe them their time, your time. But in actual fact, I only earn $20 a month per customer. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it just doesn't add up to spend an hour with somebody for $20. You know, when one of the guys that I learned NLP from, I've done through a few courses, he charges $15,000 for the first session. And that's 90 minutes, by the way. And then it's $10,000 a session after that, which is an hour. So $20 a month doesn't like pay the bills. Do you know what I mean? It's just not workable. And that's why most companies don't have that option. And again, everybody, we're all the same, but we're all different, aren't we? So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this is the perfect mix from a $7 book all the way up to working with me. I've now got something in between. Mid-June should be launching the Matrix.
But one thing that really struck me, Paul, was the fact that, and I think I said this to you on one of our sessions, was if I can do what I've done in 8 weeks, which is not insignificant, by the way, as well. It's a
And
massive
it's
amount
really
of
good
work
as
that
well.
I've
I
done.
will say, anybody watching, you do get it. It's on my computer. I was looking at it this morning. Again, I've been through it before, but it is honestly really good.
Thank you. Yeah. But one thing I was going to say is that if you can do that in 8 weeks, what could you do in another 8 weeks or 6 months or 12 months? The compounding effect is going to be absolutely huge, you know. So, everyone's got their own values and their own kind of idea of what they want to achieve. Okay. And like I would say, I'll just say to anybody, okay, I'm looking at the camera now. If anybody is held back by anything, are you frustrated? Or are you procrastinating? There's reasons why people procrastinate. Go and see Paul. Go on. I'll put a link on here. Okay. And you can go and have a look at the link, have a look at the video and take things from there. And one of the things that you'll find is Paul is open to questions, when he's available, and so am I. And I like to make myself available. And what I like to do as well is anybody that gets on board with me, I always have like a weekly session. So because we always find that whether you're building an online business or network marketing or whatever it is, the questions are always the same. They're always very similar. So I get people together on a live call, just as a Q&A, help you out, ask a question, let's move on, and
Let me just talk about that really briefly, right? And I know you're aware of this as well. So I got a course out there, and I've actually given it as a bonus to some people. And I looked at it last night, and you click students, and it gives you a list of all the people that have got your course, and it shows the progress they've made. 0, 0, 5%, 1%, 0, 78%, 100%, 0, and it's strange how people get access to information that is really good. And I know you've suffered with this as well. I've done it. I will give up my time to do a call at this time, right, to come and help you, right? And what happens to the numbers?
Yeah.
If you are serious, right, get the 5-day transformation, because you can commit to 5 days, and it's not all day. It's a morning session, afternoon session. You can do it over 20 days, 30 days, up to you, right? But you should definitely look to do that. If you are really serious, just like my tutor said to me, oh yeah, don't worry, you'll double your income. No, don't even worry about it. No, I'm not going to make income claims. It would be ridiculous too, right? But I tripled my income. If you're really serious, the first stage is just have a chat with me. If you know John, get with John. He'll connect us or whatever. But I won't take anybody's money unless I'm like sure I can help them, right? So if you are one of those people that you've got a hard drive full of courses and training videos and products that you've brought and you've not gone through them, well, that's self-sabotage. And I know we're all busy and everything, okay? And that's where NLP can definitely help. So you know, consider that the first step is a free chat, 15 minutes or something, just to see about your situation and what might be holding you back. And you know, John's the only client I've got on this call. I'll just ask you again, do you regret not doing it a year ago?
Actually, I regret not doing it about 24 years ago
Oh, there
when
you go.
I
Yeah.
really
So do
needed
I.
it. So
And I'll tell you something else as well. So my wife made me do the course because I was into NLP and I'd read some books and I got some books, but I still wasn't where I wanted to be. And it wasn't until I actually did, you know, took the course that it was like, oh, right, okay, okay. And the problem with the course was there was like 14 of us, I think. So he taught the techniques, but I got, you know, he demonstrated on me for one of them. So that was great. I had a real profound experience there. Like you did with one technique, I had that with something called timeline. I had a profound with that. But then the next technique he was demonstrating on somebody else. So I understood the technique. I knew how to do it, you know, and I've gone and I've practiced it. I'm not just, by the way, guys, I'm not just book learned. I've been on a course and I have a lot of experience of NLP. Right, a lot of experience now, which is why I put it out there. Well, I'm the sort of guy I won't do it unless I'm confident in my own abilities. So I've experimented on people like John, and no, I haven't. So the one-on-one is by far the best. And if you're thinking, oh yeah, I'd like to go and learn NLP, depends on your needs. If you want to be an NLP practitioner, yeah, sure, go, you know, go and do that. But most people don't. They want it to improve their business or whatever, and that's where the one-on-one time really comes in.
just the kind of final thoughts really is that, you know, on average, 95% of people fail at business. They don't really fail, they just kind of give up for whatever reason, or they don't want to do videos, so there's a humiliation. So pretty much what I would say is that the majority of people, if you're watching this, the majority of the chances are that highly likely you're going to need NLP, or NLP will definitely benefit you, because the majority of people just aren't making the progress that they want with their online businesses, or with their network marketing business, or with well, probably relationships, maybe not too bad, but you know, certainly, you know, my level of experience or expertise is, you know, online businesses. I know most people fail at it. So,
well, they're the stats, and you know, there are various reasons for it. They're not all mindset related, but you know, I guess most everything is mindset related at the end of the day if you take it back. But a lot of people just do nothing. I come across that all the time. A lot of my clients come to me, I'm stuck, and it's like, well, show me what you've done. Nothing. And there's a reason why you're not where you want to be, in spite of ChatGPT, in spite of InVideo, in spite of video.ai, in spite of all these numerous things now that can basically do your job for you.
yeah, yeah, brilliant.
Cool.
Any closing thoughts, Paul?
Just check it out. I wish
Yeah,
I'd checked it out and did like something more serious with NLP, like invested more money. You know, it was all books. I just bought books, you know, and
yeah,
I'd wish I'd invested in a course or something a lot sooner. And I guess my final thought is it's not about me. I'm not selling you me, right? I'm promoting how NLP could potentially change your life. You don't have to come to me. You know, you might
yeah,
want to go and get a book. I've got a book. You don't have to get my book. Get another book. So I'm just going to encourage you to check out NLP because it's the best thing I ever did. And it's all about just giving you control, right? So I sometimes get this, John, by the way, but what if it changes me? What if it changes me? Well, what it does is it strips away the baggage and the BS that you've picked up. Because if you procrastinate, there's a reason why. And it could be something your parents said years ago, or a friend said years ago, or it's your experience, your behaviors, your values, and all these things. You know, a lot of people take jobs they don't want because they need to earn the money, and that can form different things going on in your head, right? So, you know, it strips away the BS. When you're born, you have two fears: loud noises. So if you make a loud noise around a baby, it'll cry, and the other one apparently is fear of falling. So if you, not that you should do this, but you know, if you've ever, you know, held a baby and he's like slipped or whatever, you'll see its little hands go if it thinks it's going to fall. right? Or he or she. Apparently, that's like the only two fears you're born with. So you could put, a king cobra, in front of a baby. Baby doesn't know any different, does it? Play with it, right? Everything else, all the other stuff that you've picked up. And the problem is, until the age of about 7, you've got no sort of mental filters to be able to deal with the information going in. Because when you're young, you're learning. That's the way that evolution works. So you hear something, you learn it. And with monsters under the bed and certain people that appear around the 25th of December, that's one thing. But deep-rooted things about relationships and success and making money and all of these things. My dad, we found an old tape of my dad years ago, and we played it on this old tape recorder. Just chatting. I think it was me. I just pressed record while we were chatting, and he was talking about there's no way the working man can save. There's no way the working man can save. Well, I never had savings until I did NLP.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay,
So
so
it didn't change me. I removed the BS.
that's it. That's it. And yeah, that's what I feel has happened to me. But yeah, if any of this is resonating with you at all, as you can see, there's going to be a link either above or below this video. Go and have a look. Go and have a look. And if you need some more information, reach out to me. I'm always make myself available. So thanks, Paul. Really
No worries,
enlightening.
John. Thank you.
Okay,
On
cheers.
to the
Thanks
next
for that.
call. I'll see you soon.